visiting from Mars and places beyond, the great Beoddy, Goblin Hood, and Chimera, wishing you a blessing for 2012. Let's put our hands together and welcome them out.
Test. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Hi, everybody. My name's Chimera, and I've taken over Jim Beoddy's art career. Nobody panic, and nobody will get hurt. Actually, that's a joke. This is all supposed to be pretty harmless. And you folks can call me Chim. For the next half hour, welcome to Chimfest 2012, a shamanic presentation. That means we're trying to save the world and stuff. But we're also trying to have fun. For saving the world information, background data, you folks should read a comic book called Goblin Hood 2012. It's free on the internet, and you can get there through www.freepress.org or through www.fredscruton.com. That's SCRUTON. And you can also see some of my paintings there, because Jim lets me paint and draw with his left hand. Isn't that sweet? I'm a she-male, if that matters, but I'm also a virtual being. And I can't tell you how exciting it is for somebody like me to get to materialize on stage like that. But like this, that you can read the whole exciting story in my comic book, Chimstorm, which just got published, I hear, online at the Free Press website, like the other one. So, I know everybody's really excited about that. I sure am. But I didn't come here to hog all the stage time. So, please allow me to introduce to you someone many of you already know, a volunteer shaman of long standing in this community, and also an artificial life form who helped create me. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the one and only Goblin Hood. Take it away, Gobby. And now, by order of the Martian Provisional Government, it's Goblin Hood time again. Co-starring my sidekick, the amazing Suitcase Doll, and guest starring our colleague, the Cosmic Weevil Doll. And I guess you folks have already met my new partner, Chimera, but we also have with us on stage the head of Buckethead, my performance predecessor. He wrote most of the stuff you're going to be hearing from us today, except for this first piece. I'm turning things back over to Chimera for a sort of shamanic introit. Back to you, Chim. Thanks, Gobby. This poem wasn't written by us. It was written by Edgar Allan Poe. But it's about an angel of music. So Jim wrote a little tune to go with it. It's called Israfel. In heaven a spirit doth dwell, whose heartstrings are a lute. None sings so wildly well as the angel Israfel, and the giddy stars, so legends tell, ceasing their hymns, attend the spell of his voice all mute. Tottering above in her highest noon, the enamored moon blushes with love, while to listen the red levin with the rapid Pleiades even, which were 7 pauses in heaven. And they say the starry choir and the other listening things that Israfeli's fire is owing to that lyre by which he sits and sings, the trembling living wire of those unusual strings. But the skies that angel trod, where deep thoughts are a duty, where love's a grown-up God, where the hoary glances are imbued with all the beauty which we worship in a star. Therefore thou art not wrong, Israfeli, who despisest an unimpassioned song. To thee the laurels belong, best bard, because the wisest merrily live and long. The ecstasies above with thy burning measures suit, thy grief, thy joy, thy hate, thy love, with the fervor of thy lute. Well may the stars be mute. Yes, heaven is thine, but this is a world of sweets and sours. Our flowers are merely flowers, and the shadow of thy perfect bliss is the sunshine of ours. If I could dwell where Israfel hath dwelt, and he where he might not sing so wildly well a mortal melody, while a bolder note than this might swell from my lyre within the sky. Thank you. And I'm sure Edgar Allan Poe thanks you too, whether he liked the music or not. This next piece was written entirely by Jim Beoddy a long time ago, including the little tune with it. But Jim doesn't know how to write musical notes down. So for publication, a friend of his helped him write the musical notes down for this piece. The friend was a jazz musician named Joe Diamond. Joe used to play at Comfest all the time, but now he only plays here in memory and in spirit. And there's so many other of our favorite Comfesters that are gone, but they're still here in spirit. And this piece is for them. The last time Goblin Hood performed this was at the funeral for a pet water dragon named Floyd in an almost mythical place that he thinks of as Lost Atlantis. I just wanted you people to know that once upon a time, Goblin Hood actually hung out with a real dragon. The piece is entitled Citizen Pain. From cradle, from crèche, from the warm velvet womb, to the deathbed of age, to the cold, bitter tomb, we must bear you, allow you our lifeblood to drain. For you're all teeth, you vampire, you Citizen Pain. Citizen Pain, with your deadly refrain, you fulfill me, you thrill me, you sate me. Citizen Pain, will you tell me again why it is that you torture and hate me? With the small ones, it's easy, they never fight back as you saddle your horses and mount your attack. And your victims are luckier, murdered and slain. For you seldom let go, do you, Citizen Pain? Citizen Pain, when you puncture my brain, as you kill me, you chill me, you grate me. Citizen Pain, with your foul, bloody stain, you entrap, then incessantly bait me. In the schools we must learn you, 'neath hickory sticks, in the cage of old age, we've grown wise to your tricks. But our sweet sister morphine and cousin cocaine, they could scarce pay their rent without Citizen Pain. Citizen Pain, must we stand in the rain while you dream up a cruel way to kiss me? Citizen Pain, will your power remain when I'm gone? When I'm dead, will you miss me? Well, that was painful. But now, we have a surprise. No, it's not the Trump of Doom. It's the son of the fabulous Comfest miracle horn, announcing some good news. Do you see this? It's a cassette tape called The Music of the Spheres. It's a story that it's an almost lost legend that we smuggled out of a bygone millennium. It's a reading by Goblin Hood of a story by Jim Beoddy, and it's a true story about a character named Pookie who saves the world. So, way to go, Pookie. Let's hear it for Pookie, everybody. These are available at the Comfest merchandise booth. And now, I'm gonna turn you back over to the old gobster. Thank you, young chimster. Chim's new at this. I've been doing this for a long time. And I think we're kind of running out of time here. Okay. So I'm gonna like kind of scrub one of the things I was gonna do. You've all heard it before anyway. But my gig is freedom of expression. I'm a big fan of freedom of expression. And my policy is that if you don't use it, you're liable to lose it. Therefore, it's my pleasure to be participating in a long-distance performance piece all the way from the desert of California. One of our honored artists of yesteryear, one of the Comfest honored artists, I believe maybe year 2000 or 2001, was David Green. And he's got this performance piece going on that I'm going to be participating in right now. Here's looking at you, kids. Isn't that fun? And I'm gonna be handing this off to somebody else that wants to also participate. The instructions are on the back. You're supposed to post it on YouTube, post it on Facebook. Anyway, this was Chim's big day and it was Chim's big show. And for our grand finale, we're going to be doing a kind of a duet. Now I know this is going to seem sort of off the wall in our present glorious circumstances, or maybe not. But this piece would have been just right for the entire Bush-Cheney regime, except that back then we could have been waterboarded for singing it if the entire audience didn't sing along with the chorus. By the way, we want you to sing along with the chorus. And Chimera is going to be telling you when to do that. So I'll be turning you back over to her with vague apologies to one Francis Scott Key. Your move, Chim. Thanks, Gabi. This piece is entitled Attila the Pig. And it goes like this. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light if Attila the Pig is still mongering blight? Oh, we're scared to resist or to walk down the street when Attila the Pig treats us like tainted meat. Sing, halt, put your hands up in frightening chorus. Attila the Pig makes our eyes water for us. Everybody sing, halt, put your hands up in frightening chorus. Attila the Pig makes our eyes water for us. Your turn, Gabi. If you're not CIA and you're not FBI, old Attila might spit all your rights in the eye. If you're robbing a store, then Attila will shoot you. If you're going to war, then the pig will recruit you. Sing, halt, put your hands up in frightening chorus. Attila the pig makes our eyes water for us. Bring it on home, Jim. Whether you're here like me or there crouched in a hut, old Attila will see that you keep your mouth shut. And if this little poem puts a hurt in your head, I can only advise that you change things instead. Sing, halt, put your hands up in frightening chorus. Attila the pig makes our eyes water for us. All right, well, Goblin Hood. We got 5 minutes. Do you want to do your Sticks and Stones poem anyway? Let's do it really fast. Used to do this in high schools. It's for freedom of expression. It's called The Silent Sticks and Stones. The silent sticks and stones around we fashioned on this stolen ground into the pyramids we've built as tombstones for collective guilt. With sticks and stones, our children play. The silence bears their souls away. They learn at such an early age non-verbal ways to vent their rage. With stones we pelt the dissident as if our wrath were heaven sent. With sticks we pound a rhythm on the skulls of those we prey upon. And silently our children gaze upon the fate of those we haze and learn before they're very old to think whatever they are told. With sticks and stones we make it clear our enemies have much to fear. With sticks and stones we still the cries of those who seek to criticize. And children learn the silent night can be a time of shocking fright, absorbing in their quiet hell strange secrets they can never tell. With sticks we train our young to act as if our wretched lives were fact. On stones we carve for all to see our version of our history. And though we teach our kids to pray, our violence bears their souls away, till silently they stoop and plod beneath the angry yoke of God. For lo, our God is carved of sticks into a bloody crucifix, and mad at those who turn away, and threatening to come back someday. And if the children disagree, they know 'twere best done silently. And if the stones could speak, they too would doubtless stifle what is true, for truth is seldom ever heard. It's almost a forbidden word, unless the herd agrees with it, by chance or in a sudden fit. For truth can be a deadly tool to make the wise man seem a fool, and words can cause the truth to strike, a blow against the silent Reich. But if we take the words away, there really isn't much to say. And if the truth is buried deep, our consciences can go to sleep. And if we war on thought, we can control the destiny of man and woman too, as case in point. And soon be ready to anoint with balm the very feet that tread upon our faces till we're dead, and worship silence as our Lord, and put to death the living word. But if the burning books should smoke, and if our children start to choke and cough up what they really think, and make the silence start to shrink, and if with hearts of stone they tell us where to stick the silence, well, perhaps their schooling isn't done. Perhaps they'll learn at point of gun. We'll pound the lesson home with force, bring silence from its primal source. We'll make our children bow or bleed before our silent, violent creed. We'll make the truth be what we say. We'll make the story end our way. Now let the silent power rise. Now hurl our message at the skies. One voice, one mind, one faith, one heart, and death to those who stand apart. We'll bury them midst walls of stone, where they'll be truly all alone. their brains impaled and washed in mire. With sticks we'll feed the cleansing fire, until their souls we save or doom to everlasting silent gloom. For in their blind crusade they seek a truth that makes our silence weak, and in defense of lies will make the very walls of heaven shake. As silent soldiers off to war, we'll bathe our enemies in gore. Though truth may be the flag they wave, their truth shall be an early grave. Their lives a virgin sacrifice to subterfuge and artifice, a monument to silence and a warning not to force our hand. We'll serve our truth, we'll serve it well. We'll send our critics off to hell. We'll crush their minds. We'll break their bones with silence and with sticks and stones. That's it for Goblin Hood and his little dolls, too. Thank you. Happy Comfest, happy 2012, and may Pookie be with you.
This is a special publication for Comfest 40. It covers from the first year on up to tomorrow. Okay? And there's not that many copies.
Oh, it's okay. Goblin Hood and Chimera. Goblin Hood and Chimera. All right, Mars Fabulous. All right, I'm learning something here. Greg always teaches me something. He's stage mom. He did a nice job stage momming. All right.
Sound guy, Seth. There we go. Check, check. Check, 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 check. By order of the Martian Provisional Government. Check, check. By order of the Martian Provisional Government. I bring you Goblin Hood.
Gosh, thanks for stepping on my line, Greg. But now it's time to say, and now, by order of the Martian Provisional Government, it's Goblin Hood time again. Co-starring my sidekick, the amazing suitcase doll, and guest starring our colleague, the Cosmic Weevil doll. And today, we also have a very special guest star who will be appearing somewhat later. But first, I want to introduce my partner, the virtual female being, Chimera. Give her a big hand. Hi, everybody. Is this mic on? Okay, I'm Chimera. And I get to start the performance part with this poem that Gabi always does, and we've turned it into a kind of a duet piece. So we'll be doing it that way for the first time today. We went to a high school earlier this year to talk about freedom of expression, the most important right that we have as human beings. And Goblin Hood's been doing that for decades. This was the first time I got to do it. He once wrote this poem for those classes. And the poem is entitled, "The Silent Sticks and Stones." And I get to start. The silent sticks and stones around we fastened on this stolen ground into the pyramids we've built as tombstones for collective guilt. With sticks and stones, our children play. The silence bears their words away. They learn at such an early age nonverbal ways to vent their rage. With stones we pelt the dissident, as if our wrath were heaven sent. With sticks we pound a rhythm on the skulls of those we prey upon, and silently our children gaze upon the fate of those we haze, and learn before they're very old to think whatever they are told. With sticks and stones we make it clear our enemies have much to fear. With sticks and stones we still the cries of those who seek to criticize. And children learn the silent night can be a time of shocking fright, absorbing in their quiet hell strange secrets they can never tell. With sticks we train our young to act as if our wretched lies were fact. On stones we carve for all to see our version of our history. And though we teach our kids to pray, our violence bears their souls away, till silently they stoop and plod beneath the angry yoke of God. For lo, our God is carved of sticks into a bloody crucifix, and mad at those who turn away, and threatening to come back someday. And if the children disagree, they know 'twere best done silently. And if the stones could speak, they too would doubtless stifle what is true, for truth is seldom ever heard. It's almost a forbidden word, unless the herd agrees with it by chance or in a sudden fit. For truth can be a deadly tool to make the wise man seem a fool, and words can cause the truth to strike a blow against the silent Reich. But if we take the words away, there really isn't much to say. And if the truth is buried deep, our consciences can go to sleep. And if we war on thought, we can control the destiny of man and woman too, as case in point, and soon be ready to anoint with balm the very feet that tread upon our faces till we're dead, and worship silence as our Lord, and put to death the living word. But if the burning books should smoke, and if our children start to choke and cough up what they really think, and make the silence start to shrink, and if with hearts of stone they tell us where to stick the silence, well, perhaps their schooling isn't done. Perhaps they'll learn at point of gun. We'll pound the lesson home with force, bring silence from its primal source. We'll make our children bow or bleed before our silent, violent creed. We'll make the truth be what we say. We'll make the story end our way. Now let the silent power rise. Now hurl our message at the skies. One voice, one mind, one faith, one heart, and death to those who stand apart. We'll bury them midst walls of stone, where they'll be truly all alone, their brains impaled and washed in mire. With sticks we'll feed the cleansing fire, until their souls we save or doom to everlasting silent gloom. For in their blind crusade they seek a truth that makes our silence weak, and in defense of lies will make the very walls of heaven shake. As silent soldiers off to war, we'll bathe our enemies in gore, though truth may be the flag they wave. Their truth shall be an early grave, their lives a virgin sacrifice to subterfuge and artifice, a monument to silence and a warning not to force our hand. We'll serve our truth. We'll serve it well. We'll send our critics off to hell. We'll crush their minds. We'll break their bones with silence and with sticks and stones. Thank you. That concludes the scary part of the show, and I hope you're all suitably scared. We have a very special event coming up, a world premiere. So everybody get prepared for that. Try to prepare yourself for the sheer excitement which is about to follow. Tim will be conducting most of this herself, so you know it's gotta be exciting. But I give you once again my partner, Chimera. Thanks, Gabi. And wasn't that fun? By the way, people, how do you like this cute little mini skirt number? It's it's from a Comfest long ago, but the logo looks surprisingly like the one of today. Anyway, it's part of Comfest's rich heritage. And in a way, so is what follows, because we kind of started to talk about it last year, and now we're going to really talk about it. It's time, everybody, at last, for the Pookie Show. And I get to do the Pookie Show theme song. It goes like this. Pookie, it's the Pookie Show. Everybody's gonna have a good time. Whoop, whoop. Now everybody, let's give the Pookie Show a warm welcome. Sing along. Pookie, it's the Pookie Show. Everybody's gonna have a good time. Whoop, whoop. Now admit it, you're probably having a good time already. And so, for the very first time on this stage or anywhere in the universe, we have with us today Pookie! Yay! Pookie's like a rabbit. The whole thing was based on that movie Harvey, remember, about the puka? Only Pookie is from a dream Jim had, the creator of Goblin Hood and Chimera, and he had the dream back on Valentine's Day of 1998. So it was about a character that saved the world from an actual apocalypse, and that character was Pookie. And we're going to speak with Pookie today. This is Pookie's first appearance. So, Pookie, do you have anything to say? Yes, Chim. I'd like to say that whether the apocalypse was in the past or the present or the future, I'm on hand to save the world from it. Get it? On hand. Yeah, we get it, Pookie. That's really funny. It would have been even funnier if you'd made me into a hand puppet. You're correct, Pookie, but you're a lot cuter the way you are. Now tell me about saving the world. How exactly did you do that? Well, Tim, what I did was I became part of everything. So I was omnipresent. I was everywhere in the past and the present and the future. Gosh, Pookie, that sounds almost godlike. Well, no, not exactly. That would require being omnipotent and omniscient, too. I'm only omnipresent. I'm part of everything. But maybe I'll work on the other things, and that can be part of things, too. But right now, I'm just everywhere. I'm part of everybody watching this, and we're all having a lot of fun. Well, Pookie, we sure are having a lot of fun with the Pookie Show. And let me see what time it is so we can see how much more time we have for the kind of fun we're having. Well, actually, we've got lots of time left. So, yeah, well, okay. Well, Goblin Hood and me are going to do another poem because we really do have a lot of time left. We're going to have to do it fast. And let's see. This one is this is also a duet. And it's like, this was more political last year because we were wearing a flag costume. But this year, let's end the Pookie Show, first of all, by singing the theme song again. Pookie, it's the Pookie Show. Everybody's gonna have a good time. Whoop, whoop. And that's it for the Pookie Show. Thank you. All right, we're gonna do this again if we can remember the words. Goblin Hood's gonna start it off this time. Yeah, and you guys can sing along with the chorus of this if you want to, and if we can remember the verses. This is called Attila the Pig. And believe it or not, it's a very patriotic song. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light if Attila the pig is still mongering blight? Oh, we're scared to resist or to walk down the street when Attila the pig treats us like tainted meat. Sing, halt, put your hands up in frightening chorus. Attila the pig makes our eyes water for us. If you're not CIA and you're not FBI, then Attila might spit all your rights in the eye. If you're robbing a store, then Attila will shoot you. If you're going to war, then the pig will recruit you. Sing, halt, put your hands up in frightening chorus. Attila the pig makes our eyes water for us. Well, this is the last verse. Whether you're here like me or there crouched in a hut, old Attila will see that you keep your mouth shut. And if this little poem puts a hurt in your head, I can only advise that you change things instead. Sing, halt, put your hands up in frightening chorus. Attila the pig makes our eyes water for us. Thank you. Well, we got about 5 minutes left. Or more. Man, I really should have rehearsed more stuff. I'm going to try to do something real quick. It's kind of nasty. It's a nasty poem. But I just tried to quit smoking recently after 50 years. And this is how the poem makes me feel. It's called Rabbit Tobacco. In the South, they grow rabbit tobacco, though you won't have heard too much about it. It's not really something they're proud of. It's just a useless weed after all. But remember when we were all children, we sometimes made fake Christmas trees in grade school out of rolled up newspaper that we painted green and shredded, like a tall, scrawny, spindly weeping willow. But just paint it gray and even thinner. And it looks just like rabbit tobacco, which tastes a lot like gray newsprint as well. And meanwhile, those swell newsprint trees worked exactly like rabbit tobacco for the children who didn't have any real trees to play with. In the South, they sometimes start smoking real early. They grow real tobacco down there, after all, and they smoke it for many different reasons, I guess, but I'd guess many think it's a way to grow up. And most everyone really just wants to grow up. And the kids who can't get the real thing fill their pipes up with rabbit tobacco. It doesn't get them off or anything. It just tastes like burning gray newsprint, but it lets them pretend to really be smoking. It lets them pretend to grow up. It also just gives them a little something to do. It's best smoked in a toy plastic bubble pipe with a corncob bowl attached. Yes, the South grows a lot of strange flora and fauna, but I've mostly lived in the North. And though I grew up on a farm in Ohio, I never saw rabbit tobacco grow there. And now I reside in the city, where nothing much seems to get to grow. But I walk in the park on occasion, and I watch the children playing their games, and they all still smoke rabbit tobacco in the forest of the park and the forest of the mind, but I pretend I don't see what they're doing as I hide in the rabbit tobacco thickets. We're all just still trying to grow up, after all, in the park or the mind or wherever. And sometimes I go to the movies, away from the cares of my day, and I watch the dream people move through the bright daydreams with their pipes filled with rabbit tobacco, and the audience cries out with pleasure, but coughs at the brittle gray taste in their mouths. But while sitting at home in front of the box, they drool and they moan and they come in their pants as if they were screwing a dog and pretending it was rabbit tobacco.
But life isn't only such pleasant pursuits and escapes here in the big city. We also have serious responsibilities and serious obligations as citizens of a free nation, which expects us to govern ourselves and to make our own trees and to fill our own pipes. And so we go off to the polls when we must, and we vote the rabbit tobacco ticket, no matter which party we think we're voting for, and it really doesn't matter much anyway, when the speeches are all about rabbit tobacco anyway. And sometimes we even make wars over whose fields of dreams and rabbit tobacco are thickest. And it really doesn't matter who wins in the end, just so long as the bombs keep bursting in air and shredding the sky like so much green newsprint pretending to be rabbit tobacco. And the winners all march in a victory parade waving flags made of rabbit tobacco and bloodlust, while the losers march drably throughout the bombed ruins, searching for broken dreams and the stems of toy bubble pipes. And meanwhile, we spend all our money building fences out of rabbit tobacco to keep the enemy rabbit tobacco away or to punish it for smoking up our skies when the final homemade pipe finally gets lit up by somebody desperately wanting to grow up. But I guess we'll pretend we're all children again as we wander the ruined streets through the shattered towns in the clouds of rabbit tobacco in the smoky excuse for a sunset. And perhaps we'll talk of the good old days when we all went to rabbit tobacco high school, or majored in rabbit tobacco at college, or went to work for rabbit tobacco industries. We worshipped rabbit tobacco at the First Church of the Great Hare, whose sign was a newspaper tree painted green and stuffed in a toy corncob pipe. And some of us even got married or just found someone or other to live with. And we all went rolling and rutting and fucking in the rabbit tobacco fields of our hearts, sometimes breeding more rabbits to smoke up the future, or just panting and screwing in the kennel of lust. And whether by hand or by mouth or by buttock or by breasts or even by slick genitalia, our couplings were usually just more fucking rabbit tobacco, standing in for something else, standing in sometimes for violence and hatred, and sometimes for sheer ecstasy and pure desire, but all too often pinch-hitting for power as we crouched in our rabbit holes, our pink noses quivering, our cottontails shivering, our rabbit ears listening for the least sound of danger, smoking rabbit tobacco and pretending it was love. And even those few who had found the real thing, or who thought what they'd found was real, spent the most of their time brushing gruffly aside all the newspaper icons of the poor hopeless searchers for plastic bubble pipes amid the roughage and carnage as the gray brittle sunset found them all smoking, all naked, and all of them grown up now to await the gray dawn, which would soon split the sky with the sound of 1,000,000 green newspaper willows pretending to weep. In the South, they grow rabbit tobacco, and they smoke it whenever they have to, and they dream of the old days gone by when someone else smoked their rabbit tobacco for them, and they all look away, as the brittle clouds of worthless gray smoke rise aloft to obscure the forests and jungles where newspaper trees have to stand in for shreds of lost empires. And meanwhile, the rest of us march to the sea, our carpet bags filled with spare corn cobs, our plastic bubble pipes clenched between our stern jaws, our weapons alert for anyone dressed like a newspaper soldier painted gray or whistling Dixie. And we march to the sea in the name of rabbit tobacco, singing heart-thumping battle hymns, our hearts thumping wildly, as if we were buggering a sick, dying dog and pretending it was rabbit tobacco. That's it for Goblin Hood and his little dolls, too. And Pookie says, have a happy Comfest, and may Pookie be with you. Thank you, everybody.
Ooh, thank you, Goblin Hood and Tamira. All right. All right, Comfest Day 2. What a beautiful day! It's really fantastic to be here. I'm Jan Fleming. I am your MC here for a little while.